Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari 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 Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Jaya Gopi Jana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Nandana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Nandana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Nandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Gaura Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate 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 Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam
Devim Saraswati Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraye. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto the supremest human being, Narayana Rishi, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Sri Vyasadeva, the author. Srinvatam Sakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridiyantastha Bhadrani Vidhunoti Suritsatam. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Paramatma super soul in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu Nutyam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavate uttama shloke Bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. In loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So we'll continue our studying from Srimad Bhagavatam for the pleasure of our deities, Shri Gaurnitai, Shri Radhakanta, and for pleasure of our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada. So we are on Canto 1 titled Creation. Chapter 18 is Parikshit cursed by a Brahmana boy, and we are on text number 19. So please repeat after me. Kutaha Punar Grinato Nama Tasya Mahatmai Kanta Parayanasya Yo Nanta Shaktir Bhagavan Ananto Maha Gunatvad Yam Anantam Ahu Kuta Punar Grinato Namatasya Mahatmai Kanta Parayanasya Yonanta Shaktir Bhagavan Ananto Mahad Gunadvadyam Anantam Ahu Kuta Punar Grinato Namatasya Mahatmai Kanta Parayanasya Yonanta Shaktir Bhagavan Ananto Mahadgunadvadyam Anantamahu Kuta Punar Grinato Namatasya Mahatmai Kanta Parayanasya Yonanta Shaktir Bhagavan Ananto
Yonanta Shaktir Bhagavan Ananto Mahat Gunatvadyam Anantamahu.
Please chant.
Kuta Puna Grinnato Namatasya Mahatma Kanta Parayanasya Yonanta Shaktir Bhagavan Ananto Mahat Gunatvadyam Anantamahu.
Kuta Punagunato Namatasya Mahatamakata Paranyanasya Yonata Sakta Bhagavanananto Mahadgunatvadyam Anantamahu.
Kuta Punagranato Namatsya Mahatma Kanta Parayanasya Yonanta Saktir Bhagavan Ananto Mahat Gunatvadyam Anantamahu.
Yonanta Shaktir Bhagavan Ananto Mahat Gunatvadyam Anantamahu. Anyone else? Okay. Word translation. Kutaha. What to say? Punaha. Again. Grinataha. One who chants. Nama. Holy name. Tasya. His. Mahattama. Great devotees. Ekanta. Exclusive. Parayanasya. Of one who takes shelter of. Yeah, so some devotee's name is Narayan Parayan or Vishnu Parayan, means who have taken shelter of that deity, that God. Ya, he who, Ananta, who can tell the meaning of this Ananta? Anyone knows? Unlimited. Okay. Shaktihi, potency. Bhagavan, everyone knows it, right? Personality of God. Yeah, that's more accurate. Thank you. Anantaha, immeasurable. Mahat, great. Gunatvat, on account of such attributes. Guna means, the qualities. So, on account of those qualities, attributes. Yam, whom, Anantam, by the name Ananta. Ahu is called. So you see in this mantra there is 3 times Ananta, word came, and Ahu is called in Yagga, in fire sacrifice, is also called Ahuti, because it's the demigods, or Vishnu and other demigods are called, whoever to whom the offer is made. So, okay, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai. Please repeat after me for the translation. And what to speak of those who are under the direction of the great devotees, chanting the holy name of the unlimited, who has unlimited potency, the personality of Godhead, unlimited in potency and transcendental by attributes, is called the Ananta, unlimited. The Dvija Bandhu, or the less intelligent, uncultured men born of higher castes, put forward many arguments against the lower caste men becoming Brahmanas in this life. They argue that birth in a family of Shudras or less than Shudras is made possible by one's previous sinful acts, and that one therefore has to complete the terms of disadvantages due to lower birth. And to answer these false logicians, Srimad Bhagavatam asserts that one who chants the holy name of the Lord under the direction of a pure devotee can once get free from the disadvantages due to a lower caste birth. A pure devotee of the Lord does not commit any offense while chanting the holy name of the Lord. There are 10 different offenses in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. To chant the holy name under the direction of a pure devotee is offenseless chanting. Offenseless chanting of the holy name of the Lord is transcendental, and therefore such chanting can at once purify one from the effects of all kinds of previous sins. The offenseless chanting indicates that one has fully understood the transcendental nature of the holy name and has thus surrendered unto the Lord. Transcendentally, the holy name of the Lord and the Lord Himself are identical, being absolute. The holy name of the Lord is as powerful as the Lord. The Lord is all-powerful personality of Godhead, and He has innumerable names, which are all non-different from Him, and are equally powerful also. In the last word of the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord asserts that one who surrenders fully unto Him is protected from all sins by the grace of the Lord. Since His name and He Himself are identical, the holy name of the Lord can protect the devotee from all effects of sins. The chanting of the holy name of the Lord can undoubtedly deliver one from the disadvantages of a lower caste birth. The Lord's unlimited power is extended on and on by the unlimited expansion of the devotees and incarnations, and thus every devotee of the Lord and incarnations also can be equally surcharged with the potency of the Lord, since the devotee is surcharged with the potency of the Lord, even fractionally. The disqualification due to lower birth cannot stand in the way. Om Agyanatimirandasya Dhananjana Shlakaya Chakshur Unmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Nama Srishta Mananapi Sachi Putra Atra Sarupam Rupam Tassa Krajam Urupurim Madhurim Gushtuvatim Radha Kundam Girivala Haradika Madhavasan Prapta Yasya Patita Kipaya Sri Guruntam Natosmi. I bow down to the beautiful lotus feet of my spiritual master, by whose causeless mercy I have obtained the supreme holy name, the divine mantra, the service of the son of Sachi Mata, the association of Srila Swarup Damodar Rupa Goswami and his older brother Sanatan Goswami, the supreme abode of Mathura, the blissful abode of Vrindavan, and the divine Radha Kunda and Govardhan Hill, and the desire within my heart for the loving service of Sri Radhika and Madhava in Vrindavan. So, in the purport, Prabhupada is talking about the Dvija Bandhus and how the Varnashram system got corrupted, and then the Dijabandhus who are actually not qualified as Brahmana, they tried to keep their position, and they basically tried to say that it's based on the Brahma has to be based on birth. But a pure devotee of the Lord can come in any caste, any place, any country, anywhere. And actually in Chaitanya Bhagavat, in the beginning, Vrindavan Das Thakur says that the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, they could all born near to river Ganga or near Navadvip, but they took birth in different places, far away from Ganga, within Bengal mostly, but far away. And the reason is that, and he also gives the reason that to show the power of the holy name, that and these devotees, they can deliver the people around the place they took birth. So like that. So now, in this connection, I thought to talk about a devotee. His name is Salbega. He was born of a Muslim father. Actually, his father was actually a tyrant. He planned to destroy the Jagannath temple. And his son, and his name was Lalbeg, the tyrant guy, and his son was Salbega. And Salbega actually became a devotee of Jagannath. And he, actually Jagannath waited for him to come from Vrindavan so that he can take part in the Rath Yatra festival. So, and I'll basically, read and also describe the story from this book called Muslim Devotees of Krishna. It's written by one of my god brother. His name is Dr. Dipankar Dev. He's not a medical doctor. He's like a PhD, and he's a professor in one of the Indian Institute of Technology. So, Salbega, he was born in 1591, and he left his body in 1647. And Salbega is a very known person in the Oriya culture, because Salbega wrote so many Oriya songs in praise of Jagannath and as well as Radha Krishna, and these are sung by the common Oriyas, and also theatrical performances are done, based on Salbega's story. So he's a known personality in Orissa. So he was a devotional poet of 17th century Orissa, who even today is integral to the lives of people of Orissa, India. So he wrote one poem, this English translation. Ruefully sings Salbega, I am a Muslim. My father is a Mughal and my mother a Brahmana. His mother was a Brahmana. Widow of a Brahmana actually. And so I'll come to that story in a bit. Born to such a creed, no Hindu drinks water from me. Left parents aside, abandoned kings, I submitted to Govinda. So, Lalbeg, his father, his official name was, he was known as Lalbeg, but his actual full name was Jangir Kulikha, and he was Subedar of Bihar. Subedar means governor. He was governor of the Bihar province. And he was also very close associate of Jahangir, one of the Mughal emperors, who was son of, I think, Akbar, right after Akbar, whose son was Shah Jahan, who made the Taj Mahal. So, Taj Mahal maker's father. So he, under whom, so Lalbeg was very close associate of Jahangir. Yeah, I have a, like a mnemonic called, when we were in history class, we had to memorize all these Mughal kings' names, and there was a mnemonic called I think Bhadshah, Bhajsa. So B for Babur, H for Humayun, A for Akbar, J for Jahangir, S for Shah Jahan, and A for Aurangzeb. So these 6 were the prominent, and after Aurangzeb, who was the greatest tyrant, destroyed many temples, the Mughal Empire fell down, and then they don't ask their names in the history exam. So we have to remember those 6. So there was a name only Bhadshah. Wow. I was trying to recall that to make myself correct.
Did they allow, like it's not, they allow Muslim usage for grammar in, like if you did that in America and you wanted to use for grammar, use a Christian or a Jewish, that would be very controversial.
But not for grammar, just for memorizing to pass your grade, your history grade exam.
You remember Muslims.
Yeah, for that everyone has to, But also other kings also. But then these Mughals, there are 6 prominent ones, and then they will ask questions like, who was son of Humayun, for example, and then if you memorize that, you can immediately, So anyway, something that comes handy, Because everyone knows Shah Jahan because of Taj Mahal, So, Shah Jahan's father Jahangir and Lal Beg was a very close associate. And actually Lal Beg's father was a librarian under Jahangir's father, who was Humayun, So they were like very close associates with the Mughals for generations basically. So Lal Beg was the son of Humayun's librarian. He entered Jahangir's service when he was still a prince, when Jahangir was young. And once on Jahangir's accession, he was raised to a command of 4,000 horses and appointed Subedar. So under him there was 4,000 horses. Lal Beg succumbed to the climate of Bengal, and Jahangir learned of his death in 1608. So he probably got some disease that was common in Bengal during that time. So anyway, Jahangir separated Orissa from Bengal, made a different province, and Lal Beg was an opportunist. So what he did, he just to acquire royal favor, tyrant Lal Beg destroyed many temples. He dreamed of demolishing the pioneer vault of Jagannath's temple in Puri. That was his plan. That was his dream, and he wanted to do it. So when Lal Beg was advancing towards Puri with his team, with his followers, a young, beautiful Brahmana widow, and she was taken back in a river nearby, and then Lal Beg basically captured her, and forced her to accompany him on his horseback, and then, kept him like a mistress, and then kept her as a mistress, and on course of time a son was born, and his name was Salbega, who will become the Bhakta of Jagannath. So another poet of Orissa, his name is Ramdas, 18th century poet, he wrote, and it's English translation, "Now carefully listen of a Pathan in the lofty city Cuttack." So he was born in Cuttack, which is near to Bhubaneswar. He fathered Salbega. Listen carefully to what I say about him. Utterly cruel and haughty, his character bruised, his wisdom spoiled. He aspired to demolish and consecrate the steps of the Lord's shrine. So, and then there is, in Cuttack city, there is a mansion called Lal Bagh Koti, which is still there today, not historical building. And it was named under Lal Beg, so you can see. So Salbeg's mother, being a Brahmana, was allowed to offer her prayers to Jagannath. Some believe that Salbega was born on the Radhashtami day. That was not sure. And there is an opinion that he was actually cremated at Swargadar, which is the cremation ground in Puri. And his tomb was made on the near to the road which is used for the Jagannath procession on Rath Yatra in Puri. So, and between 1612 and 1647 he lived in Puri, so for a long time. For many years he lived in Puri basically. So, after Salbega's birth, Lal Beg left for Bengal for some expedition and leaving the mother and son, and then Lal Beg basically died in Bengal. And Salbega, when Salbega grew up, he actually joined the army as a soldier in the beginning. And in a battlefield, he received a severe wound. He was like severe wound, like fatal. And he had access to all the royal care and medicine. He was from the royal family, and he didn't have to worry about whether his Medicare or Medicaid would cover that. He didn't have to worry about that, or he didn't have to worry about buying insurance. He had all those, but his wound did not heal. It was a fatal wound, and he was in pain. He was in great pain, and he was like crying. He was literally. I saw one actually like a theatrical performance on YouTube on Salbega. It's in Oriya. And since I knew the story from before, I can make up what they were saying, and some Oriya were similar to Bengali I could understand. So he was in pain. He was like literally crying. In theater we know that they exaggerate a little bit, to make it interesting, but still. So he was in pain, and he was weeping in front of his mother, and his mother said that he described the story of Gajendra, in Bhagavatam, we see the Vishnu's rescue. She described Vishnu's rescue of Gajendra, the king of the elephants, when trapped by a crocodile. So, and then he encouraged him to pray to Govinda and Jagannath. But Salbega was reluctant in the beginning, but his mother was insistent and convinced him that if he prayed with all sincerity and dedication, he would be cured. So he was in the, we know 4 categories of devotees, so he was in the first category, Artha. He was in pain. So he was praying every day he was praying. And then the prayer did not work on first day, not on second day, not on third day. But on the 12th day of his prayer, he had a dream where Lord Jagannath offered him a sacred powder to use on his wound. In the dream he saw it, Jagannath offered him. And at dawn, when he got up, he discovered that the wound had vanished. Wow. Vanished, total, and he cured, no pain, everything okay. So with great joy, he ran to his sleeping mother, and waking her up, he narrated the miraculous dream. Salbega was transformed into a staunch devotee of Jagannath. So, and he decided to be a renunciate. So Salbega says, "O dear mother," it's also from a poem written by him. "O dear mother, your words came true. Your Lord, my Lord, saved me from the pain and death. I resolved to abandon all sanctioned material comforts. Tearing out my own attire, I clad myself as a renunciate." Saluting his mother, he mumbles, "With such a kind God around, what fun is there to rely on other sources of pleasure?" And it is similar to the Chaitanya Charitamrita text. Madhya Lila chapter 22, text number 95 states that Krishna is very kind to his devotees. He is very grateful and magnanimous, and he is full of all abilities. A learned person does not give up Krishna to worship anyone else. So Krishna is very kind to his devotees. He is grateful, he is magnanimous, and he is full of abilities. These four characteristics, And in Bengali it says, Bhakta Vatshal Pitaggo Samartha Vadanno. Those 4 characteristics.
What are they again, Prabhu?
Bhakta Vatsal means he is very kind to his devotees. Kritagga means he is very grateful. Samartha means he is full of abilities. And Vadanna means he is magnanimous. And Vadanna Heno Krishna Chali Pandit Nahi Bhajanno. A learned person a Pandit person does not give up Krishna to worship anyone else. So he was in that mood. He was like a very staunch devotee. And he dedicated to celebrate Krishna's pastimes in his songs. So another song. He also visited Vrindavan. So if alive, I shall visit Vrindavan to see Sri Madhusudan, bathe in Shyamakunda and Radhakunda and consecrate my being. I shall go around the Govardhan and gleefully drink from the Yamuna, seeing the glories of the Lord and the means to salvation, adorned with dust from the places of Radhakrishna pastimes. I shall sleep beneath creepers and bushes and meditate on my Lord. So Salbega's faith in Krishna deepened, and a local saint advised him to visit Sri Kshetra, Puri. So learning that Jagannath was the savior of the downtrodden, Salbega went to Puri, but he was denied entry because non-Hindus were not allowed and still not allowed to enter the temple. So he was not allowed. But something else happened. So when Salbega stopped at the gate, he wept and fervently prayed. The Lord could not remain oblivious and appeared at the gate to render darshana to Salbega. After this incident, a deity of Lord named Patita Pavana means the deliverer of the most fallen, was installed at the Simhadwar, or the lion gate of the temple's eastern side. And this deity can be seen from outside without entering the temple. And this deity is unique in that he is not carved from wood. So in Jagannath, Baladeva and Subhadra, these deities are usually carved from wood. That's the tradition. And that's also, and then after certain years they also make new deities. But these deities are not carved from wood as the deities in the temple are. He is made from a combination of frankincense, sandalwood paste, natural camphor, resin, scented oils, and fragrant musk.
Wow.
So all very expensive and also very fragrant thing. Salbega then composed the Patita Pavana Ashtakam. So we have different Radha Ashtakam and Gurva Ashtakam we sing in the morning. So he composed this Patita Pavana Ashtakam. A section of this lovely composition is translated. So one section. Those who are privy to my sins, so unlimited one, are so terrorized that they stop seeing their flaws and fearlessly praise each other's virtues. If for the fallen you are truly a purifier, then, dear Master, save this worst offender. So the poets of the time in Orissa intensified their relationship with the deity as a friend and the ultimate redeemer. So he also wrote many poems like in a friend's mood, in a Satyaras. And there is one story. So one day, while Salbega was, and Salbega's poem, which he wrote in palm leaves, are kept in Orissa Museum in Bhubaneswar. So there is a house where Salbega lived in Cuttack. There is in Orissa, in Bhubaneswar, Orissa Museum, his poems are palm leaves are there, and also his tomb is there in Puri. So three things we can see about Salbega. Anyone interested? So one day while Salbega was singing bhajans of Krishna, a saint named Landa Babaji was passing by. He recognized Salbega as a great soul and affectionately embraced him. On Salbega's request, the saint took him to the Krishna temple at Balasore. So this Balasore is a district which borders West Bengal and it's on the coast. And Salbega's mother also accompanied him. They stayed near the Krishna temple for 8 years in Balasore. And Salbega was not allowed to enter into the temple because he was a Muslim. He roamed around the temple singing devotional songs with a contrite heart. Sometimes he blamed himself for being born a Muslim. Other times he accused Krishna of being stone-hearted for not allowing his darshan. So he said, you saved the dignity of Draupadi, the wife of 5 Pandavas. You saved Gajendra, the elephant, from the crocodile's jaws. Why don't you hear my prayers? He would lean over the temple wall and sing bhajans loudly. So one evening, this is interesting, no? One evening when Shyam Roy and other well-known devotees were at the temple, an aura of bright light encircled the deity of Krishna. The devotees closed their eyes in reverence. When they opened their eyes of the to their surprise, the deity has disappeared. They realized that Krishna had left the temple and wondered what they had done wrong. So Shyama Roy, he was a well-known devotee at that time, could not sleep the whole night. So towards dawn, exhaustion overcame him and he fell asleep. In a dream, the Lord said that he could not stay in the temple because Salbega was not being allowed inside. When he woke up, Shyama Roy rushed to the temple to find Salbega sitting outside and singing bhajans. From then on, he gave Salbega full access to the temple. And this is kind of like the climax of the story, you know, and the final story about Salbega that I am going to talk about today. Salbega never missed the Rath Yatra car festival in Puri. For the devotees, this is the most propitious occasion to take darshan. One time he had gone to Vrindavan. The car festival was approaching fast. Salbega began to walk the distance so that he could witness the Lord on his chariot. So on the way he fell ill and his body trembled with fear. So he could not walk anymore. So he was walking from Vrindavan to Puri. So those days there was no flight, you know, or train. So they had to walk basically. And he could not walk, so he was helpless. His tear rolled from down his eyes. But his heart was at to see Jagannath having his ride, in Rath Yatra. So the cart festival was over. Salbega could not reach Puri. So he was there and he could not reach, and he was somewhere between. He started from Vrindavan. He was somewhere in road, so he could not come. So Salbega could not reach Puri. He hoped to watch the Bahuda Yatra, means return journey of Jagannath from the Gundika temple. See, he at least wanted to do that. So he requested the Lord to stay in the chariot till his arrival at Puri. It's a big request, asking someone, okay, can you wait? Like Supreme Personality of Godhead. With these words, he said, it's Oriya, Satasa Pachasa Kosha Chalina Par, Ei Moha Jiva Jain Nandigasha Thivarahi. It is very difficult to walk the 750 koshas. That was the distance he was at. To see you, please remain at Nandighosh, Lord Jagannath's chariot, until then. Jagannath could not ignore his prayers. Nandighosh did not move an inch. His chariot did not move an inch. Its wheel got stuck in the sand of that road. The road is known as Baradonda, big road. When Salbega arrived, the wheels began to move again. In order to commemorate this event, so this is commemorated even today, every year in Puri. The chariots halt there every year during the Bahuda Yatra. So chariot halt for some time. Every year they commemorate this. Jagannath waited for Salbega to come from Vrindavan. The composition of Salbega requesting Jagannath to wait on Nandighosh is as follows. O Lord of the universe, I seek shelter at your lotus feet. I have 750 koshas to go, but an ardent desire to see you. An uneasy fever braces my limbs. I beg you to wait on Nandighosh until I arrive at your crowded holy avenue. Thin pearl wires around the car with the Lord gleaming with love. His eyes, huge and round, wave all round the universe profound. Beneath the 22 steps rise his sword as loves honeyed food. A touch of the steps and taste of rice redeems before one sees you. Balabhadra moves first, the lily-eyed, moon-faced Subhadra follows, and at last Kaliya, means Jagannath, sways and because he is black in color, Kala means black. Kaliya sways and sweats and jostles amid a sea of people. Let my exhausted body and mind stay still at thy lotus feet. Sing Salbega, the low-born son of a gold baton. Thank you very much for listening. Any questions or comments?
What does it mean exactly, a Mogul?
Mogul is basically a group of Muslim people who are from Central Asia. So Babur was from current-day Uzbekistan, Central Asian people, and they had some this basically part of their blood is from Mongol and then another group. So, but currently Uzbekistan people, you can say Mongol.
So they were already, like a lot of the Muslim people, like were actually originated in India and then were converted. So, but they were coming from outside and were bringing their culture and their religion like that.
Yeah. Like Mughals came, Turks came, some Afghans and some Persian. There was one Arab who came, but he did not survive. And then others are, and then so many Indian Muslims are descended of those, but then most are Indian converts, local people.
Most are what was that?
Most are Indian local people, like the descendants of the Indians who was converted. But there are also a significant group who are, who are from those countries like Turkey, Persia, Central Asia. Very few Arabs, not many. Yeah.
In the Bhagavad Gita it says that Krishna preserves what you have and carries what you lack. So here he's in great distress trying to get to the Rath Yatra, and he can't make it. And so in his heart he's crying to the Lord to please wait. And so he actually did so. He stopped.
He's an example of the distressed deity, because when he had this wound, he prayed to Lord, and then Lord fixed it for him, and then he wanted to attend the Rath Yatra, and Lord also, agreed. And until every year today, it's been commemorating. So you can understand how much Salbega is in the, in the culture.
There was a deity of Patikapavan that's made from all those different oils and fragrances.
Resin.
Can you still take darshan of that deity?
Yeah.
But how do they maintain it, I wonder, because those things are, like some of those things evaporate. I wonder how, do they have to keep, like...
I don't know the details.
Did you see?
I don't remember seeing it when I visited Jagannath temple. I mean, my information is based on the book. So next time we can maybe have a more investigating look.
Did you see when you went to?
I was not paying attention because I didn't know what to look for. I didn't know this story. So now when I go, I will be watching for Salbega's tomb, Patitapavana deity. If I go to Bhubaneswar, probably visit the museum. And Kathak maybe. So when you knew, then you know what to look for. If you don't know, it might be in front of you, and then you don't know. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.